Hello, and welcome to this conscious parenting guide to raising children, toddlers aged 2 to 5 years old. And this is the 5 pillars of conscious parenting. We're going to go through each of these pillars of conscious parenting, and we're going to explain how you can put them into practice in your family and what they actually look like. So the first of the 5 pillars is empathy. And empathy is probably one of the most important things that we can do as parents in the conscious parenting world. Not only showing empathy ourselves, but teaching our children empathy through the way we model it to them. Empathy in parenting is the ability to share and understand your child's problems. It's being apologetic. And something that is unique to conscious parenting is this idea here of rupture and repair. And when I'm talking rupture and repair, I'm talking about when you as the parent make a mistake. You're not going to leave this course tonight and be cured of all of the generational cycles that have fallen into your life. You're not going to be the perfect parent. It's literally impossible to snap your fingers and make that happen. It takes lots of practice, and it takes loads of healing, and it takes a lot of time to do that. And there's going to be times where you just can't regulate your emotions to the best of your ability, and you're going to snap. You might yell, you might threaten, you might shame, you might do something that you're not entirely proud of as a parent. And you being an empathetic person means that hopefully you're going to feel bad about that. And that's what empathy is. You feeling bad about doing something bad. And we know that yelling, hitting, threatening, shaming, or guilting are all not good behaviors to show towards our children. But what makes us unique as conscious parents is that we don't just do what traditional parents do and sweep it underneath the rug. We don't give a really fake blaming apology like, I'm sorry that I yelled, but you just made me so angry. In which you've pretty much just said to them, you're the reason I yelled, and you're responsible for my emotions. You're responsible for the fact that I got angry. When in reality, we are in charge of our own emotions, and no one can physically make us yell. No one can physically make us shame, right? So we need to be aware of the fact that we are in control of our own emotions, and we need to be able to control them in order to respond to our children appropriately. So when we have a rupture, when we snap, when we do something that we're not totally happy that we've done or that we feel bad about, we're going to repair. And that's the important part of conscious parenting here, is acknowledging that you are trying your best, and it's okay to make mistakes every now and then. But you're going to repair the relationship afterwards by being apologetic, understanding that this is something that your child has gone through now because of you, and you need to make the situation better. This is also going to model to your children how to be empathetic and how to give empathetic apologies. And it looks like this. I'm so sorry that I yelled at you. You didn't deserve that. I was feeling really angry and I yelled at you. Do you need a hug? What we did here was we acknowledged that we were out of control of our own emotions, saying I felt angry and that you didn't deserve that. That was not fair on you, right? Followed by, do you need a hug? And when we follow it with, do you need a hug, instead of come give me a hug, we're putting the power into the hands of our toddler. They may at that moment feel too disconnected from you to want to hug you, or they may really need that connection to realign with you through a hug. That's entirely up to them. Make sure that if they do say they don't want a hug, that later you offer a hug again. Just remind them that you are there, you love them, and that you're really sorry you did that. You're going to try better later. So that is something that is completely unique to conscious parenting. And we need to take credit for being the fact that we're the first generation of people to empathetically apologize to our children. We're the first people to teach these conflict resolution skills, not just simply giving them the silent treatment or, passive aggressive apologies. We're the first generation ever to actually empathetically apologize to our children. And that's going to go leaps and bounds for your children securing, maintaining, and having really positive relationships in the future. Just romantic relationships, but also friendships. They're going to have this skill because you are putting it in place with them. You are showing them empathy.
Stuff goes wrong for all of us, and at some point, it's our turn again to land in the pit of despair. But it's the conversations that we have whilst we're down there and how we respond to them that will determine just how fast we get back out again. Essentially, people will have one of two responses to us when they see us in pain: sympathy or empathy. Take one, the sympathetic response. The problem with sympathy is that it's based on the three things that worsen and prolong the bad situation that the person is in: pity, victim status, and agreement. When we sympathise, we add our own sorrow, fear, annoyance, our pity to the other person's feelings. And whilst they now feel less lonely, being joined by another person confirms that the pit is real and bad. When we treat people like victims, they behave like victims. And agreement just makes the walls of the pit all the more intimidating. Sympathy always ends in the same way, with a bungled rescue attempt, which almost always fails, because deep down, we don't want to be rescued. We want to be right. Okay, everyone, take two, quiet on set, roll camera, and empathy. When we empathise with someone, we have the power to change the game. By reflecting back the feeling that we see the person having, we show them that they have been understood, deeply understood. By reflecting back their circumstances in plain words, we help them to step back and regain perspective, and importantly, the belief that they can repair their own situation for themselves. When all's said and done, sympathy can actually feel nice for a bit. But when it comes to getting to a solution, only empathy has the power to get someone up and running again.
So now that we've understood the difference between sympathy and empathy, and know that while sympathy can feel really nice, it actually doesn't have the power to give our children the problem-solving skills or decision-making skills that they need in order to get out of that dark place. It's not giving them the empathy that's going to allow them to recover from whatever situation that they might be in. This is a really important mental health skill that we need to give our children. And I'm going to show you here step by step exactly how you are going to show empathy towards your children in order to teach them these really valuable mental health skills. So the first thing we are going to do in showing empathy to our children when they're having really big emotions, a tantrum, a meltdown, whatever that looks like, you are going to be there for them. You're going to be there through those big emotions. You are going to ride that emotional wave with them. You need to be present. Even if your child is kicking and screaming and saying, "No, don't look at me, don't be near me." And this is really common. It is really common that toddlers don't want you to be near them. But I'm here to tell you that whilst they might not want you in that moment, they need you in that moment. You need to be present, even if that means that you are as far away from them as possible while still being in their line of sight, with your back turned and not making any eye contact at all. This is going to send the message to your child that you will not abandon them when they are having these big feelings, that you are going to be there for them, even if it means that you are at a distance, just kind of getting their wishes, letting them have their wish of not being near you. And also sometimes this can keep you safe, because often when toddlers have moved into that amygdala part of the brain, they can activate that fight response, which is where they get aggressive. And it's no reflection on you and your parenting that your children are getting aggressive. It's just something that can happen when they are in the amygdala. The next one, you can offer cuddles and love. And finally, you need to have open body language when you are responding to your child. And open body language comes from the chest. We need to have an open chest, not just open palms. Because if we have open palms but we're slouched like this, we're not really showing them that we're interested or that we care. Open body language, it comes from the chest. The next one, when your child is calm, you've done some deep breathing together perhaps, or your child is just ready to move on from the situation. You're going to acknowledge the feelings. You're going to label the emotions here. And you're going to say, I could see that you were feeling really angry. The next step is, what made them feel this way? And I'm going to give you 2 words that are going to change your life. These 2 words need to be at the start of what made them feel this way. And you're filling in the blanks for your really young toddler. And maybe as they get older, they can start filling this in themselves. But here, you're going to fill in the blanks by saying, you wish you could have had a longer turn with that toy before your sister had a go. I understand. Right? When you say you wish, you are acknowledging to your child that they are heard and that you care enough to understand what has made them feel this way. And that's half the battle. When they feel heard, when they feel like you care, they are more likely to be on board with what you are trying to do, how you're trying to help them.